live at Grouse Camp. We have Mr. Perry Massotti, Mr. Joe Schwanke, and David Weaver, who's about to sing the song of the Marine Corps for us.
We need a couple days.
Couple days, right?
He needs to bulk up on crayon.
Yeah, we got to bulk up on crayons. So we're getting ready to do a podcast this evening, and it will be up on the Bird Camp podcast fairly soon. All right, you can flip the camera around this way, right? All right, there we go. Watching him calibrate his machine here.
Sir, do you have a piece of painter's tape?
Painter's tape? Yeah, I probably got something somewhere. We happen to have a bunch of dogs running around here too. Panzer, what are you doing, old deaf boy? That's Panzer. Panzer is almost 16 years old, retired dog. And hi, Georgia. Georgia is one of ours. Georgia is retired at 13. So what do you guys think of the hunting so far?
It's great. Dogs are doing great. I haven't fired a shot.
Forgot to do something today, did we?
Charge the remote.
Charge the remote.
Charge the remote.
How about you, sir? 2 birds on the ground today?
Yeah. Thanks to Loki on that. At least I wasn't missing completely. I knocked them down and Loki got them for me. So that was nice.
Let's talk about the max effective range of that Merkel.
It's effective when I can put it where the shot's supposed to be, but
Okay, so like truth in advertising, Joe seemed to find like every tree in the way of those birds today. Like
Yep.
we flushed 27 birds in half a day of hunting, and he had shots, and it was just one of those things where like every bird just flew behind something. And,
meanwhile, my host had all the cupcakes too.
cupcakes, he calls them cupcakes, right?
Out in the open, looking right at you, just the shot to take. Always in front of Dennis.
You gotta admit that the second shot I made today was pretty snapshot quick.
I got to see it and I thought slow motion. It was just smooth to the shoulder, slight pause, bam, dead bird.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get those.
Well, consequently, so, truth in advertising, I bought this gun for my son, Evan, to go pheasant hunting with. And it is lightweight, over and under, 20 gauge, cheap gun, Savage Stevens 555. I ordered some True Lock chokes for it. Oh my God, like those True Lock chokes, because I shot clays with it and he shot clays with it. And then we ordered the True Lock chokes, which were like dusting those clays. I'm like, this really is dialed in. So I hunted with it a few times with him, and before, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't broke or whatever, it'd be a good gun, break it in for him. I'm shooting like 80% on grouse with that gun.
And now it's yours.
So I told him, I said, hey,
Tell him to get a paper route and get his own.
well, he shot with it in Iowa on pheasants, 20 gauge. No, he was using 3-inch magnums, but and they were that Prairie Storm, whatever, lead copper mix.
Yeah.
Like he was totally crushing birds with it. But we got back and I started crushing grouse again, and I was like, hey son, I was kind of joking. I was like, I think I'm gonna take your gun, and he was so cool. He was like, hey, we could share it. So I thought that was awesome. So the people that are just tuning in is we are getting ready to do a bird camp podcast here. We are at our annual grouse camp, which is called what, gentlemen? Grumpy
Constitutionalist.
Grumpy Old Constitutionalist Grouse Camp, where we people think we just drink all night long and talk politics and things along those lines. But we, the first day we got to watch a pretty cool election night, which was no matter which side you are on in that, we're not going to take sides, right? Because we're not going to do that here. But the reality is, it's pretty interesting to watch that. There was no question in the outcome on that. So it is interesting to, if you're a fan of politics, it was interesting to kind of watch those results, which subsequently led to us getting up a little late on day one, and honestly, we weren't even inebriated. It was just kind of cool sitting up talking about it and
2 o'clock in the morning.
seeing which things were gonna
Might
go.
have been the
Totally
first
called it.
evening I've spent here where we ended up sober at the end of it.
Right. It was definitely pretty cool to have those conversations. So, but yeah, we're in the middle of grouse camp. We're on day 2. Grouse camp goes till this weekend. I think most folks are hanging around till Saturday. Perry, you're leaving tomorrow morning, heading back to whereabouts?
Southeastern New York State.
Southeastern New York State. So Perry drives about 20 hours to come here, and then Joe and Dave are trolls from below the bridge, and I'm your resident Youper up here. Even though I'm not a Youper because I am not born and raised in the UP, so I will never have the privilege of calling myself a Youper, but my kids were born here, so
they get citizenship.
they get the
Anchor babies.
Youper citizenship. Yeah, they're anchor babies, yeah. So the reality is, though, we do this grouse camp every year. This is our 3rd or 4th annual one. Perry, we've been hunting together for over 10 years
Yeah. I think I'm
up here. And so we're on day 2. We've probably flushed collectively probably around 100 birds, somewhere around there, maybe, huh?
I had
In 2 days.
a dozen grouse and a dozen woodcock today. Got into a woodcock.
Yeah. So yesterday,
I saw a lot of road birds today, but I saw 4 different drummers in the road today.
really,
I think I've never, maybe I've seen one before. I saw 1 all fanned out displaying, and then 2 fighting over a puddle. And
Cool.
I got to watch them until they got shot.
That's a drummer's hot tub.
Yeah.
the hot tub.
And then,
Right.
then another one. It was very surprising. I don't know what was going on that stimulated that today, but something was in the air and the light and the time of year that stimulated that behavior. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen that like
It's
that.
interesting that you mentioned that because I have not heard a single drummer all fall.
No.
And you know how normally you get into a hunting season, even in the fall, you'll have a male on a log drumming and, marking their territory. I have not.
Dispersal happens.
I have not, yeah, when dispersal happens, I've not heard that all year. And interestingly enough, you can think about dispersal, but I think it was my neighbor, Carla, just posted on Facebook the other day that she had one kamikaze at her house last week. Which is interesting because normally that happens in the middle of October. So you wonder with the weather if we're a little late or whatever it is. And all of the birds that we've been finding, all the birds Joe and I found today, how many were singles? Almost all of them. They were singles at the push spot, the very last one.
Yeah.
But I think the other spots.
We had one brood we got into.
Yeah, that was 6 birds that came up in 2s.
And the coordinates are
Right, yeah. Coordinates are,
Down by Royal Oak.
well, that's a subscribe option, so we get that. All right, so anyhow, we're gonna get on with this podcast, but we thought we'd just check in from grouse camp, let everybody know that we are still alive and we're doing a lot of fun stuff. So this is Uncle Grout signing off.
and everyone still likes each other.
And we all still like each other, so keep doing good things, and we'll see you later. And I gotta figure out how to turn that off.
Spaniel out there going batshit crazy.
She won't let me lock her in the cage.